Oh, your boy, back in here for real, DL47, revisiting as much rugby league information as possible. Right now, the 1948 wooden spoon in Australian Rugby League. And as always, you need to watch this video all the way through to the end so you don't miss any essential rugby league information. But this time in particular, it's imperatively essential because it took until the very last regular season game to decide who would get the wooden spoon in 1948. Absolutely unbelievable sequence of events, I think. So, first of all, as per always, I just said that North Sydney got the spoon in 1948, but we always go through the wooden spoon team's wins, draws and losses for the season. We go for their attack and defence and for and against, and then their leading try and point scorer. So the statistics we go through first before we delve a bit more into a bit more detailed information and the crucial games that they did play during the season. So North Sydney's statistics in 1948, what you would in fact expect from the team who got the wooden spoon. They played 18 games, winning 3 games, having 2 draws and losing 13, for a total of 8 competition points. In attack, they scored only 191 points from their 18 games, but conceded 321, so the for and against minus 120, very poor for and against. And their leading try scorer only got 5 tries, and his name was Alf Austin, getting just 5 tries. That was the most any of the North players got, 5 tries. And the leading point scorer, his name was Alan Lawson, and he got no tries and 23 goals, a total of 46 points. So, very few competition points, very, very poor for and against, and very, very low leading try and point scorer tallies by Norths in 1948. That's what you would expect from the team who got the wooden spoon. But what you would not expect, is exactly how that all panned out, how that all unfolded. So, what I find absolutely astounding is that after the first 5 games in the 1948 season, Norths had actually had 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss, and they were actually mid-table. So, incredibly, and obviously beat the 2 heavyweight teams too, which is even more incredible. Incredibly, 1948 round 1, Norths began with a 25 points to 13 loss to St George. Then, in round 2, they pulled off a 12-all draw with Balmain at Leichhardt, which was always a hard place to play at the time, Balmain's home ground. Balmain, of course, finishing as runners-up in 1948, and Norths pulling off a 12-all draw with the eventual runners-up. Then 1948 round 3, Norths had a 13 points to 6 win over Canterbury, and then in round 4, a 32 points to 15 win over Parramatta. Then, in round 5, believe it or not, Norths pulling off a 6 points to 4 boil-over win over Western Suburbs, and West, of course, won the comp in 1948. I said before, the 1948 grand final, West beat Balmain 8 points to 5. So Norths, even though they got the wooden spoon in 1948, managed to draw and to win against the 2 eventual grand finalists for the season. And then after that, so after the first 5 games out of 18, the last 13 games, Norths managing a single draw, managing 12 losses and a single draw only. So after that bright start to the season, the lights switched off and the wheels completely fell off. And not another win for the rest of the season. The only competition point they did accrue was the 1948 round 9 game, where they had an unconvincing 3-all draw with fellow strugglers Manly. And as I always say, at the time, tries used to be 3 points, so that's why it's 3-all, just 1 unconverted try each. And North's unconverted try in that one, 1948 round 9, scored by Erwin Noffs, unusual name, but his name was Erwin Noffs, getting North's try. And for Manly, Fred Brown got their unconverted try in the 1948 round 9 game. Manly North drawing 3-all. Then, so even though North obviously lost all the games for the rest of the season, going into the very last game, 1948 round 18, despite that, because they had had 3 wins and 2 draws, they found themselves on 8 competition points going into the last game in second last place, whereas Manly, they were on 7 competition points in last place at the time. North and Manly just happened to be playing each other, believe it or not. They just happened to be playing each other in the very last regular season game, and that was a bona fide spoon battle, because if it was a draw, North would of course go to 9 competition points, Manly would stay on 8, and North would avoid the spoon. If North won, they'd obviously avoid the spoon. So the only way Manly could avoid the 1948 wooden spoon was by actually beating Norths. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I've said many times before, Manly has never got the spoon. So in 1948, round 18, the very last game to decide the wooden spoon, Manly pipped North 13 points to 12. So Manly won this particular wooden spoon battle by a single point, and also avoided the wooden spoon by a single competition point, that win taking him to 9 competition points for the season, leaving North stranded on 8. So I said in the previous video, the 1947 wooden spoon, when Manly only just avoided it by a fingernail and gave it to Parramatta in 1947. Well, this time, in 1948, Manly avoided the spoon by a single molecule of skin and gave it to Norths that way. So even though Manly never has got the spoon, they obviously went close in 1947 and 1948. And more incredibly still, that's why you need to watch this all the way to the end of all this crucial information. This wooden spoon decided 1948 round 18, I should say. Norths actually scored 2 tries to Manly's 1. Norths, a try by Jack Sullivan and another try by P. Millgate, 2 players getting a try each. And the Norths goal kicker, his name was A. Harley, and he got 3 goals. Remembering the tries were 3 points at the time, so that's 12 points. Whereas Manly only got 1 try by the player Jim Walsh, and it was Manly's goal kicker. His name was Merv Gilmer, so good old Merv Gilmer landing 5 penalty goals to give Manly their 13 points and give North the wooden spoon by the absolute narrowest of margins, by a single eyelash, if you will. Absolutely unbelievable. So, there you go. After North's bright start to the 1948 season, only 1 single competition point for the rest of the season, and after Manly's struggles in their early days, they somehow, even back then, kept finding ways to avoid the wooden spoon, and obviously have still never got it all the way to this, all the way to the present day. So there you go. 1948 wooden spoon done and dusted. Stay tuned, the next one is the 1949 wooden spoon, and as per always, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, because there's always tons of rugby league information that we need to divulge one meticulous piece, one meticulous strand at a time. Thank you for watching. 1949 wooden spoon, Eastern Suburbs coming up next, D47.